All right, let's get into it. Today we're diving into this really fascinating documentary. It follows one man's journey, a guy who basically won the game of life. He did everything society tells you to do to be happy, but he was totally empty. So this is his quest to find a deeper kind of truth, one that money just can't buy.
And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it. The narrator, he followed the script perfectly, you know? School, a good job, making tons of money. He even sold beer.com for $7 million and starred in a Super Bowl ad. By any measure, he was living the American dream. But deep down, he had this nagging feeling that something huge was missing.
So this is the big question that really kicks off the whole story. He looked for happiness in all the usual places, money, success, you name it. And when none of it worked, he realized, well, the only place left to look was inside his own mind. And that one little shift in focus, it changes everything. So, let's start by digging into the problem he was trying to solve. He calls it the deceptive dream, and it's this paradox that I think a lot of us feel, but maybe can't quite put into words. This slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the checklist for a successful life. On the right, you've got the inner reality he was feeling and seeing all around him. He wasn't just seeing it in himself, he was seeing it in the world. Addiction, depression, chaos. He even says our so-called normal society is actually psychotic. And he came to this conclusion that if we want to fix these massive problems, we have to start by changing our own consciousness first.
And you know, his whole epic journey starts with this one surprisingly ancient question. He's just reading the Bible one day and comes across the story of manna from heaven, this mysterious food that God gave to the Israelites in the desert. The text never actually says what it was, and that one little mystery, that's the spark that lit the fuse for his entire quest.
This one bit of curiosity sends him down this incredible intellectual rabbit hole. He starts digging into ancient wisdom and forgotten practices, long before he even thinks about getting on a plane to Peru. He starts to get this feeling that our ancestors knew something really important that we've completely forgotten.
So following this thread, what does he do? He gets on the phone with Deepak Chopra, and the conversation they have is just mind-blowing. They start exploring this theory that maybe, just maybe, these ancient texts are packed with references to plant-based sacraments. Could manna have been some kind of psychedelic mushroom? Was the wine Jesus made actually a psychoactive tea? Was the famous soma from the Vedic texts a plant that literally connected people with the divine? It's a completely radical way of looking at our own history.
Now, before he jumps straight into the deep end with shamans and psychedelics, he tries something a little more accessible, transcendental meditation, or TM. And what's cool about TM is how simple it is. It's not a religion, there's no dogma, it's just a technique, a tool to quiet down that nonstop chatter in your head and get to these deeper, quieter, more universal layers of your own mind.
And this idea is so key to understanding meditation. We usually think, I am my brain, but this model suggests something different. It says our physical brain is more like an antenna or a radio receiver, and it's tuning into this vast field of consciousness that connects everything and everyone. So meditation, then, is just the practice of tuning that dial, of directly experiencing that field and realizing you're so much more than just your body and your thoughts.
All right, so after all the research, all the reading, all the meditating, it was time to go all in. It was time for direct experience. And this is really the climax of the story, where this intellectual search becomes a deeply personal, physical, and spiritual journey down to Peru.
What do these numbers mean? We'll get this. This is the incredible claim made by experts in the film, that just 1 or 2 sessions with these plant medicines can give you the same breakthroughs as 10 to 20 years of conventional psychotherapy. I mean, just let that sink in. It's an absolutely astonishing idea.
And this was the narrator's own breakthrough during an ayahuasca ceremony. He literally experienced his own death, but instead of being terrifying, it was liberating. He saw that the universe is this perfectly balanced thing, and all our little anxieties and fears, they're just a tiny part of this huge cosmic joke. And just like that, his fear of death was completely gone.
And it wasn't just him either. Here's another participant describing it as having their urban armor just stripped away. It put them in touch with this benevolent higher power and gave them a sense of peace they had never, ever felt before. It really speaks to this common theme you hear again and again, connection and this profound, deep calm.
But maybe the most concrete, powerful example in the entire documentary is the story of Jerry, the narrator's friend. Jerry was in a death spiral. Drugs, alcohol, his family was falling apart. He said it himself. He was trying to kill himself slowly. He goes down to Costa Rica to try a powerful psychoactive plant from Africa called iboga, and the transformation, well, it was absolute. And just listen to how Jerry describes his experience. It's not some clinical, intellectual thing. It is pure poetry. He has this vision of the moon literally taking his heart out, washing it clean, and giving him a new one. It's such a powerful image because it perfectly captures that feeling of profound, almost instant change. He woke up the next day a completely different person.
So, that leads us to the final part of this journey. You have these absolutely life-shattering experiences. What now? How do you integrate that back into your daily life? How does it fundamentally change your understanding of reality itself?
Okay, this right here is the paradigm-shifting theory that ties it all together. The idea is that our brain doesn't create consciousness. Instead, it's more like a filter or a reducing valve. It's designed to block out most of infinite reality so that we can survive and function day to day. So psychedelics and deep meditation, they don't add hallucinations, they just temporarily open up that filter, allowing us to perceive the much bigger, interconnected reality that's always there.
And when you accept that idea, it all leads to this one ultimate takeaway. Once that filter is opened up, the illusion of separation just dissolves. The boundaries that we think are so real, between me and you, between us and them, between humanity and the universe, they're revealed to be just ideas. The direct experience is one of pure unity. We are all connected.
And what's so amazing is how this deeply personal journey actually manifested in the real world. That initial conversation with Deepak Chopra, plus a casual comment from another traveler, that's what inspired Jerry, the friend who got a new heart, to open Rhythmia, a licensed medical and healing center in Costa Rica.
So the elixir that was brought back from this modern-day hero's journey is a real, tangible place. Its whole mission is to create a safe, legal, and medically supervised space for other people to have these same kinds of life-changing experiences, to heal from addiction, to expand their consciousness, and to find their own truth within.
And this is the final thought the documentary leaves us with. A journey that started with one guy's personal, internal crisis ended up becoming a global mission. So this provocative question isn't just about personal healing anymore. It suggests that if enough of us change our inner world, the outer world has no choice but to change with it. What would that even look like?